A few options here on this, and it started from a weird place. You can put yourself in the position of being an NFL franchise, owner, general manager, even head coach, doesn't matter. Easy example would be put yourself in the position of the Houston Texans, because 4 years from now, your Houston Texans, who are going to matter a lot, are likely going to have one of the two highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that's pretty safe to assume. 4 years from now. Okay, so put yourself in that position. You have a player in C.J. Stroud, and I'm just using the Texans as an example. You could use the Packers. You could use any team. It doesn't matter. But the Texans are, I think, the perfect example here. So you have C.J. Stroud, who at that time will be a superstar. He will be at the peak of his career. He will be now into a second contract. That contract 4 years from now is easily going to pay him $70 to $80 million a year. Right now, if the going rate is close to 60, it stands to reason that 4 years from now, it's easily going to be $70 million a year, probably approaching 80, and most of that's going to be guaranteed. That's what you're on the hook for 4 years from now, and you'd pay it. Absolutely, you'll pay it. You have, at that time, you're going to have one of the two best quarterbacks in the game. I think it's pretty safe to assume. So you got that position. You can think about it that way. Let's say, for example, you're NBC. NBC owns the rights to, they got Sunday Night Football, correct? So I believe NBC pays, I'm not sure how many years they have it. I would assume at least 5. They probably pay a couple billion every year. You also are on the hook for the Olympics, usually a money loser. Not something with a great deal of interest unless you soccer mom the whole thing up. So let's just say you're NBC, for example. Then you can also say I'm the NFL, trying to grow the game, trying to spread it out around the world, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so think about those three entities. If you are an NFL team, if you are NBC, because I think you have conflicting interests here. You have NBC that's going to say, now, hang on, everybody. We're the ones that pay you, and we need a little help here. We pay for these Olympics, too, and we kind of need some people to watch for a change. So think of it in those terms. Would you allow, if you're an NFL team, you're the Houston Texans, you are just coming off, training camp starts in late July, the Olympics are in July, you're coming off paying your quarterback a guaranteed $400 million. Would you let him play in the Olympics? Would you? Don't laugh it off, would you? Now you're going to say, wait, Jeff, what? The Olympics? Yeah, what do the Olympics have to do with football? Well, 4 years from now, a lot. The Summer Games 4 years from now are in Los Angeles. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to have flag football in the Olympics. Laugh all you want. I think it's pretty ridiculous, but I think you can figure out why we would have flag football in the Olympics. You know why we're going to have flag football in the Olympics? Because NBC would like people to watch, and we know Americans like to watch Americans win, and we're not so great at everything else, so we make up sports that we can win. That's why. There are two things that I feel comfortable in saying right now. 4 years from now, the United States can take gold in cornhole and flag football. We win. I'll bet on it right now. Probably more flag football than cornhole, but I still like our chances with cornhole. So why is this coming up now? Well, it's been announced that flag football is going to be a part of your Summer Olympics. And for no reason whatsoever, Joe Burrow, when healthy, one of the two best quarterbacks in football today. He is the owner of the highest, I guess, second highest contract in the NFL. Joe Burrow today said he wants to play in the Summer Olympics. And I thought, wait a second. Well, Joe Burrow will be, 8 years into his career at that time. I don't know. Maybe you pick Joe Burrow to be a quarterback, but maybe you pick C.J. Stroud. Maybe you pick Jordan Love. I don't know. Maybe you pick an aging Patrick Mahomes. Would you let your star player out there in the Summer Olympics in flag football? Jeff, it's flag football. Big deal. Okay. All right, let your star player roll a knee and tell me how that $200 million is working out for you. So flag football is going to be in the Summer Olympics. I assume by then cornhole will also be in the Olympics, so we'll make sure we win at least two things. And then that maybe ribbon gymnastics thing, we probably made that. We can't even win breakdancing. We made that one up too. So we know we're going to win gold in these two sports. So if you're an owner of a team, you're owner of the Houston Texans, I'll just use C.J. Stroud as an example. I mean, let's just say he's like Joe Burrow and he wants to play. It'd be cool, man. It'd be fun. You get to play flag football against a bunch of dudes who don't know what they're doing. We're going to win. You get a gold medal, hang out, chance of a lifetime. I want to play. If you're the Texans, would you say, how about no? No. What if you're NBC? You're NBC and you would say, let's get this straight, everybody. See, NFL, here's the deal. We pay you billions, and we're going to pay you a little bit more. You know why we're going to pay you a little bit more? Because we want you to steer some of those star players into flag football in the Summer Olympics so we can get some viewership. That's the reason why it all exists. You do know that, right? This is not about the ancient games or something like that. This is not about swimming and running. It's about ratings. And you trot out a bunch of NFL stars, you get ratings. So NBC, I suspect, is going to come to the table and say, no. C.J. Stroud is playing. Jordan Love is playing. Fill-in-the-blank star receiver is playing. They're going to be coached by Andy Reid. That's the deal, NFL. And I think the NFL may push for it too. The NFL's already pushed for the game to be there because they want to grow the sport worldwide, which they're trying all the time. They want to make NBC happy, so I think you're going to have conflicting interests. Well, would you let him play or say, look, CJ, it's 5 days before we start training camp. The last thing we need is some Finnish meathead to roll you up. And there goes our $500 million investment. So you're not even going anywhere near that. You're not playing beach volleyball. You're not playing flag football. You're lucky if you play putt-putt golf. How about no? You're our entire franchise. No. So what happens? Like, what gives? I mean, Joe Burrow he started this discussion years before it's going to come up, but it's going to come up. It is. Now, if I'm an agent for a player, think of it this way. If you're an agent for a C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love, these star quarterbacks of right now that are going to be mega stars in 4 years. I mean, C.J. Stroud's contract, his contract year is going to be that year. It will be the biggest contract in football history. He's going to make $500 million easily. Would you let him trot out there to play flag football? Oh, but Jeff, I mean, it's just going to be a bunch of Scottish dudes chasing him around. How hard can he get? Probably not hard. They'll probably win every game very easily. But would you take the risk? If you're his agent, see, and the agent's thinking, golly, imagine the commercial appeal if my client is... I don't know, if my client is in the Olympics and has a gold medal. That's a little bit different. Maybe we should let him do it. I think it's stupid. I don't know if you think it's cool or not. I think it's silly. I think most of what we have done to the Olympics I find kind of pathetic, but I didn't write a $40 billion check either. So they got to find a way to get some ratings back, and I suspect this is the way to do it. Can't blame NBC for pushing the envelope here. Can't blame NBC for saying, NFL, look, you better send your stars our way because we need some help. There are no men watching the Olympics. It's made for soccer moms now, and that's the truth. So what's the way to get back some numbers? Trot out American superstars in football. Easy. Admit it, you'd watch. I'd watch. It'd be hilarious. Put some 6'8" dude out there to catch passes. It would be. We may not get scored on in flag football, but along the way, a star player could rupture the Achilles, roll their knee, whatever. Anything could happen. And Joe Burrow started this. He's already said. In fact, he said it today. The guy who's hurt all the time. If I were the Bengals, I would say, why don't you just shut up? We don't need you playing flag football anywhere. We need you to come to work for us. But Joe Burrow is the one who said it would be cool. I'm going to do it. I'm planning on doing it if they'll take me. But I bet you somebody would like to pick C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love or, whatever. I mean, we could probably win it with high school guys. That's not the point. The point is, one, you find something Americans will watch, and two, you win a gold medal. That's what NBC wants to do. The NFL might as well. But if you're the Texans, that would be terrifying. Every time he trots out there or scrambles around while some dudes are chasing him around like some kids in a playground, chasing him around trying to take his flag, I'd be worried. I'd be worried. Or some guy gets frustrated and just rolls him up. Is it cool? Is it stupid? Is who wins? NBC wins. They get their wish. If you're the Texans, would you draw that line starting probably about 2 years from now when the buzz about this picks up? 2 years from now when you know you're about to be on the hook for $500 million for a star player, would you start pushing back already and say, hey, if this comes up, when this comes up, we're going to write it in your contract. You're not playing summer football anywhere else.